What the goal of this video is to record lighting cues. This is lighting cues for the Phase 8.1 show, but it will transfer, of course, across shows. There are going to be natural pauses that have to happen because these show files are in like 10-minute increments. So we'll have a pause, grab the next video, and continue from there. So we're going to start from top of show at Blackout with David Dower. We're just going to hear him finish the speech and then we'll go from there. I'm not going to formally call cues as in a fancy stage manager. I'm going to tell more of the story as to what we're looking for, what's coming up next, why, and then I'll give the go. So Tanya, you good? Ready to go?
Aye, aye.
All right, here we do it. Bye-bye.
You can see each other, and your energy is actually going to create this show with them tonight. There'll be no other audience that has the
Can you
same.
turn the volume up just a smidge,
Yes, I
please?
was thinking that too.
Because you are going to make
How's
it with
that?
them. Like a home
Can you
game
still
with
hear
players,
me?
you know, the more energy
Yes.
you support the players, the more it's coming back at you tenfold. So how you doing? You ready for tip-off in here tonight?
Take a breath. Go blackout. Here's where I talk to tech and guest experiences about what show number we're doing. Attention guest experiences, we're doing show 8.1 with Teeterboard. Have a great show. Attention guest experiences, we're doing show 8.1 with Teeterboard tonight. Have a great show. It's kind of fun. I missed the show.
At 5:13 on the morning of April 8th,
The show misses you.
the city of San Francisco was rocked by an earthquake of frightening proportions. Building after building went crashing to the ground as the first
Can you add a little more volume?
Death. Yep, death and dismemberment is when the artist starts entering.
to death and injury.
Death and injury, she's getting on stage.
Entrapped as floors and roofs fell through to cellars.
How's the volume?
I can hear the text a little better. Yes. Thank you.
Crazily, while frightened San Franciscans fled outdoors in dread anticipation.
All right, you're going to stand by for Q50.
By the sickening horror of fire. Hundreds of structures fell before the fiery blast.
Film starts burning. She's going to bend down to the ground and the piano will start. And go 50. It's coming. Go 50.
Dear, we are here together, yet I'm always seeking you. I know you, and yet you continue to surprise me.
Go 50.5 for Fingers in the Fog.
Fingers in the fog. And run.
Now we're watching for when Maya starts to walk to stage left. That's an automated follow spot. And go.
Where we can see the view that takes our breath away.
Next cue is off of her script. 4 walls I can barely afford.
Come out of these 4 walls I can barely afford.
Good, go. That changes the light for the shadow play in the back.
Who I am when I'm with you.
Now we're watching her to move stage right to stage left to stage right.
So many who have no home. But you're complicated. You
Rise and fall, steep as your hills.
You crash like waves, yet rise again like the tide. With all
Go.
faults, you shudder and crumble. Yet like a phoenix of fools, you rise up again and brush off the ashes. Down your winding streets.
Next cue is also a visual cue for her from going from stage right to center stage.
We find a common ground.
Next are going to be kind of quick.
We are radical poets.
Stand by. And go, curtain open, go. Those two are fast. Now we're going to hold till Q94, and that's the toss. It's important to make sure that this is on time. Otherwise, they're throwing her in the dark. Take a breath. Go. Now we're watching for when the cast they get together in clumps that look like wrestling poses. And when they unclump, that would be the go. Stand by. This is the clump. Down, up, go. Now we're looking for, it's usually Dom or whoever's going to run upstage center. Dun, 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 dun. Artists are getting in position. Watch Dom. He's in position. And we're going to go 96. And then they catch him. That's 97. And then 98. Oh, wait, sorry, 98 standby. So when they're in this aisle, that's 98. Go. We're gonna wait for them to get back on stage. You can watch Leo. He gets back up on stage. That's your go. Now we're watching for the artist that's going to spin around the stage left pole and jump to the cast. Was Pan. Oh, and we're gonna pause and go to the next video. Stand by. Okay, so we're currently on cue 100. It's when the artists get back on stage after doing what's called birds in the aisle. I'm going to continue. Am I sharing screen? No, not yet.
Yeah.
Here we go.
There you go.
I'm going to continue sharing screen, and the next cue we're looking at is 102. And I'll talk about that when we get there. All right. So we're watching Colleen standing center. She's going to swing around the pole, and when she jumps, that's your go. Next cue is the shrimp toss. Usually Maya. So we're going to watch Maya. And as she's released, that's your go. Now we're going to anticipate the proscenium Spider-Man walk. This is, and go. Light pops up, you see him in position. When that walk is complete, that's cue 109, stand by, and go. Now we're watching Leo. When Leo breaks off from the group, that's your go. Now artist in the aisle, 112, that's go. Waiting for them to get back on stage. So that's going to be after all of the jumps, and so we're going to hold here. Still holding. And now's the go for 113. And sometimes that's one that the light technicians can be a little late on, so you have to keep an eye on that. The way I watch for that is looking at the ground where the aisle was in the hallway. Now we're watching for the Superman. Joel, and go. Now we're watching the artist that's getting ready to roll under the proscenium for the This Is America. It's Maya, it's Ellie. Here she is here. She's rolling into place. That's the go. And then when the lift is complete, 114.4, go. Now we're gonna announce to the team, attention lighting team, please hold all cues until after the Bunkeen landing. We're going to hold here until the 3 highs complete. Key is that if they go one cue ahead, it's dark on that 3 high and it's really scary for them. We're just going to take a breath and hang out and look at how beautiful our friends are.
If someone were to end up a queue ahead, would they be able to go back easily?
Yeah, they can go back, but it's timing wise. Like you don't want to change it real hard on them.
Yeah. Oh.
So hopefully they catch it early enough to go back before the full climb happens.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good question. Kind of depends on the cue. All right, we're gonna stand by. The next cue comes after the cast drops and lands and go. Now we're looking for the performer climbing the mountain. So they're going to get in place. We're going to stand by 116. When she starts climbing, that's the go. It illuminates the mountain. We hold here until after the handstand drop is caught and the music ends. Ushkanushka is when the hands are together on one, and this is a two-handed version of that. Stand by, go. Now they're all illuminated. This is off the start of the music, and go. Now this next cue, 130, is when the booth is in center stage at the music sting. So we're gonna hold, stand by, and go.
Hey, I just landed. Yeah, it was the bumpiest flight ever. Where are you? Terminal 2. Wait, I'm at Terminal 2.
Now the lights are focused on the booth, and we're gonna kind of follow the booth a little bit.
SFO? I told you I'm at San Francisco Bay Oakland International Airport. I'm in Oakland.
Love that line.
All good, I'll just take part to meet you at home. Okay, bye.
Hey, Mom.
So the next cue is when the booth moves from stage right.
Catalytic converter got stolen. Yes, Mom, again. But what do you expect?
And it will illuminate.
I'm an artist.
It goes from center stage to illuminating stage right. And
Yeah, my apartment is so cool. My
go.
roommates are pretty awesome.
So we have a light to arrive to.
My window. Well, except for when the fog rolls in.
You'll see there's a light stage right that's illuminated. It's right above the walkway where Dom's going to enter. That's the naked guy light. Wait till he exits. 145, go. That light that illuminates Dom is activated with that previous cue, so there's no additional cue there. I don't want to be confusing.
I just want to talk to a human.
Hey, it's me.
Now we're going to go off the vocal cue. It's I love you guys at the very end of her speech. Right now I'm speaking to front of house. Stand by for artists in the house. Please keep the aisles clear for Zoe's act, for Joelle's act, etc.
Just please let me know when you're safe.
Stand by,
I've never seen the sky look like this. I love you guys.
go. We're going to do this for hula hoops, but we'll do another one for straps next. Or separately. The artists jump off stage and the kick drum starts. That will be the go. Off and go. Go. That's the kick drum. This is the first ka-chunk in the music. We're waiting for the second ka-chunk in the sound to be Q 170.5. That's the second. That's the go. Now we're going to hold here on lighting until the artist, be it straps or hula hoop, starts to go into the aisle. So this whole sequence, the lighting really stays similar for straps and hula hoops here. Now we're adding a new lighting cue that's going to be a manual cue for when hula hoop has the hoop thrown in from the mezzanine. I don't know if we want to talk about this here or not,
Yep.
since it's not totally applicable going forward, but maybe you want to call that one.
Yes.
All right, standby 170.7 and go. Now this next one, 170.5, is a follow cue, so we're good. 177 is when the performers hit the house right aisle by Fede. That illuminates their spot that they're going to land in. This is like Joelle's favorite moment ever. She's so fucking cute. All right, 178 is coming. Go.
If we don't have audience in the mez and mez left, Nathan will go to mez left, and we have a manual cue there to light him at this point.
Great. Otherwise, he's in the house and he tosses it in like this. Oh, the one time she messed it up.
And then after the toss, the manual cue is out.
Great, perfect. Love it. Thanks for getting that programmed. It's cool. All right, next lighting cue is when she completes her final trick and she throws the hoop onto the ground. It's like a button. It really closes up this trick or this moment. So we're gonna watch for it. Gonna drop them all down and go. Nice and dramatic. All right, next cue 200 is when the performer enters and picks up the paper off the ground that Natan's dropping. And that's gonna be Leo. And go 200. Go to 10.
Dear San Francisco, from the flatlands of Chicago, I write with wind in my hair and deep dish in my heart. Yet somehow you've stolen a slice of it. Your hills challenged me.
Fun fact, the writing on the projection screen is a letter that Shayna wrote, that they wrote it down and recorded.
Weird and wonderful. And although I'll always be Chicago proud, part of me now dreams in pastel Victorians and Golden Gate gold. With love from the second city.
Oh, and now we're going to switch again. Done. All right, so now we're going to pick up where we left off. It's going to be 3 letters and then guitar duo. Sometimes the cast will do 2 letters. Sometimes there won't be a guitar duo. Either way.
Dear San Francisco, my dear friend
Let's see.
Don left me for you. Now
Okay.
that I'm here, I understand.
The next lighting cue is to illuminate the guitar duo. So it's a warmer, pinker look.
And rich beyond measure. Ultimately, I love you too. Love, Terry Wilder. Terry, this is a beautiful letter. Can you raise your hand so we can thank you for it? Right here. Thank you so much, Terry.
Dear San Francisco, thank you so much for accepting 2 Mississippi souls on a fantastic trip of growth and discovery. Over 20
I always try to let the lighting and sound technicians know if we know that guitar duo is not happening or if we know a letter is not happening. They'll figure it out in the moment, but ideally, tell them ahead of time. All right, so here, no guitar duo, so he's probably going to skip the cue, 230. And now to 240.
Dear San Francisco, my first real kiss was in the Japanese tea garden.
So this is an example of no guitar duo night.
That's so cute. The sun was setting, and I was with the sweetest guy.
There's Mike looking buff.
And while the colors of the sky were changing, I was changing too. With Ronaldo in the fall.
All right, 290's coming with the final guitar chord and vocal cue. And we're gonna restart from felt safe to come out, if I can get it there.
To come out.
Boom, go 290. All right, I'm gonna do it right this time. This is when the 2 high passes the 3rd aisle. Stand by, go. 295 is going to be when Joelle's toes touch the stage. That's also a sound cue. And stand by. 295, go. Now, as she leaves center and heads to the stair, or to the chair, 296, go. And that brings up the chair. Aha, got it now. Next cue is when the performer jumps up. And go. I got behind previously, we got it now. Now we're gonna hold here until Joelle, or whoever's playing accordion, closes up the accordion and goes to leave the chair. So we're gonna make it through this first sequence, duo boys and duo girls. Or duo people, depending on who we have up there. $297 is coming. I would take it now to cover her taking off her accordion, but I think the correct cue is when she stands up and walks away. Yep, that was the go. Right, now we're gonna hold here. For any of the aerial acts, it's usually the most like static lights are when they're up in the air like this. So one thing to remember is making sure you don't see lights moving or things doing weird stuff while the artists are in the air. You can always ask if you feel like something's shifting. Next cue is gonna be when the ground choreo starts. So stand by, we're gonna wait till the artists are down. This is 298 coming up and go. And you'll see from where you're seated at the stage manager's chair, it does shift the focus from the trapeze to the center stage. We'll be switching the focus back to the trapeze as whoever the porter is gets lifted to the trapeze in the rugby toss. So this is 301. And go. Now we're holding here. One thing that's tricky for substitute technicians is the next cue. It says when the flyer drops from the trapeze and rolls. It's not the tarp, which is what happens next. This is also confusing for the rigger. They think that the act is over at this next trick, and it's not. We're still holding lights. Nice and safe. Stand by for your next light cue. And that's the go. Flyer drops from trapeze and rolls. That was 302. 303 is when they lift her to put her back up. So right now the back of this upstage is more illuminated. We're gonna lift her, and 303, go. Takes out some of the upstage lights, puts it back on the trapeze. Next cue is gonna be when the trapeze lowers, not when he releases her, when the trapeze lowers. Stand by and go. And it makes everything much more blue and has a slow fade that happens over, I think, 15 seconds. That was 311. Sorry, I was drinking water. 311 is when the banjo starts. Next cue is when the banjo music ends, but it's also when the Diablo catches. Next cue is also a sound cue. Stand by 312. Go. That brings up everything.
这个是中国悠悠球，它是明朝时期非常流行的玩具。
This is a Chinese yo-yo. It was a very popular toy in the time of the Ming Dynasty.
Next cue's off of the vocals.
因为它是用竹子做的。
In Mandarin, this is called kongzhu, which means hollow bamboo. Originally, it was made from bamboo, and when you pull on the strings, it spins faster and faster.
Listen. 后来，它成为了中国的传统马戏表演。
At some point, this became a traditional Chinese circus act.
Stand by for Call the Diablo.
This is called Diablo.
Go. What that does is it takes some of the light focus off of Ben and puts more focus on stage for Chi. So the next cue, when the singing starts, it brings on the singing light and it will illuminate Ben more. So these are subtle light cues, but if you get behind, it can really punk you later. Stand by 332 and go. That one we gotta anticipate, so he is illuminated when he starts to sing. You can see how in the video he's like really washed out right now. That's because that light is more focused on him. Singing's going to end. Light cue, go. Starts to fade out on him, brings up more light on Chi. So now we're in 333. We're gonna hang out for a while. It's gonna be Brought Me to You.
San Francisco has a rich history of street performing, shows in the parks, and circus. Many of the skills that you'll see in the show tonight are inspired by the works of a great Chinese acrobatic coach.
这个是中国杂技大师陆毅的启发。
Master Lu Yi taught here in San Francisco for many years, and we have so much respect for what he's brought to the circus community.
谢谢陆毅师傅。
Thank
And that was the end of that file. Stand by.
When I was a kid,
We're currently in 333.
我的父母知道我需要锻炼身体，于是我们找到了
Next cue is going to be when the monologue ends and he says,
my parents
"This toy
wanted
brought
me
me to
to be
you."
physical. So we found a circus school just 10 minutes away from our home.
最后，我开始在舞台上表演，环游世界。我很想住在一个温暖的地方，
Eventually, I began performing and traveling the world. I wanted to live in a warm place.
but this city is cold。空竹不是我的专长，我自学只是觉得它很有趣，但是它给了我自己的生命，也把我带到了你们身边。
Diablo wasn't my specialty. I learned it on my own, just for fun. But this little toy gave me a life of my own, and it brought me
Stand by.
to you.
Go. Next cue is when the act ends. It's an applause light. And go. Got this little transition moment. And go 400.
So, how are you feeling? No, really, how are you feeling?
And on days we have the ASL show, we have the arena on stage
Around this beautiful room,
for this. Yep.
all of these beautiful humans. We made it here together right now.
I wonder if she can sign with a Swiss accent.
So, is there anyone from out of town? Yes? Welcome. Say hello to your new neighbors.
Hello.
And get to know each other. No, really. Grab
Another drink and get to know each other and go 405. All right, so now I'm going to suggest we fast forward a little bit.
Yep.
We're going to wait till the speaker enters, and that's going to be our next light cue. So we're going to go here a little bit. Here. This is about 3 to 5 minutes. If it's any more than that, we start losing people to the bathroom, to whatever. Let's see. How are we doing? Still fast forwarding. Feel like it's coming. I'm gonna leave it here. Oh, here we go. 408, go. So I would have hit that light cue a little earlier than what happened in this run right here. That's probably because he comes out and signals to the sound technician, but not to the light technician. And light technicians, they got to pay attention as well. So ideally, the light goes on before he starts speaking. That's my point. Oh my goodness, she's so fancy. Oh my God, look at her go. That's ridiculous.
She's living for this.
Holy crap. Sorry, peanut gallery conversation here.
But this is a good place to note that usually we try to call the birthdays, if we have more than one, in alphabetical order. That's how the guest experiences team prepares their pathway to them as well.
That's perfect. Yeah, because a lot of times it's a surprise and they don't want to drop the cake with the candle when it's a surprise until it's their turn. Good note.
Thank you all for being here, celebrating with us on your special days. We appreciate you so much. And now that we're all a little better acquainted, I think we deserve a treat. What do you say? Yeah? Now you may have noticed that we were all just handed a piece of candy. Now please refrain from opening or eating that candy. We're going to do both of those things together. Don't you love that sound? We're gonna eat them all together. Now, on the count of 3, we are all going to take our candy.
All right, next lighting cue is coming up. It's going to be on the psychedelic fade in of the sound that happens after the 3, 2, 1.
Are we ready?
Stand by 410.
Now come on, are we ready? All right, in 3, 2, 1.
And go. Okay, so pole act. Pole act is about 6.5 minutes of follow cues. So lighting really kind of checks out during this act, but we've asked that the technicians stay in the booth because this act is arguably one of the most dangerous acts. And if for some reason someone were to get injured and we had to go to training lights or work lights, if they're off in the bathroom or out smoking a cigarette on their 6 minutes, which would make sense to go take a break during, we're in trouble. So I have made clear with the technicians that even though there's not many cues here, they all need to stay on standby. The next cue is actually a cue that's a MIDI cue. So we have no cues until the end of this act that need to be called for our lighting technician. I'll tell you what that MIDI cue is in just a second. It's coming up. It's the fly. It's when they toss. Here go. That's the MIDI cue, and it starts changing everything. A MIDI cue is a cue that Fede takes and has control of on the soundboard. And a MIDI cue is where the sound and the lighting cues are connected, and Fede is the one that drives it more so than the lighting technician. So I'm going to suggest, even though we love this act, that we're going to fast forward. Okay, so the next cue we're looking for is when the performer that is doing the foot flag on the stage right pole lands at the end of the music. Now, the big thing here is you want to make sure that artist is fully caught before the light cue is called. All right, so we're going to jump in right now. So we're getting on our pay attention, standby 437. Go. And you see how that all of a sudden lights up the whole stage, changes the video movement, and now we're back in more static act. Go. 450 is Are You Feeling the Love? And it brings up the Fugazi logo in the back and takes away the, I'm going to turn the volume down because, geez, it was loud. Are You Feeling the Love brings up this like corporate look. This is a cue that is commonly late on the lighting technicians because they just spent many minutes spacing out, watching trippy video, and now they have to know to go back to paying attention. And now we're going to do another 6 minutes of no light cues, so I'm going to recommend we fast forward again.
If you were actually in the summer of love and you did it right, would you really remember?
Where are we at? Let's. Okay, kids' questions. And then we're going to have a sing-along. Got a couple more MIDI cues coming up. Okay, we're going to save you from this. Here we go. Oh, I went too far. Darn it. We're going to do it anyway. So 490, Fede's going to take, or sound's going to take. Sound takes the cue on that. Oops, forgot to take the guitar out. That was a MIDI trigger as well. So the next lighting cue that you'll take is when whoever the performer for this act is entering. It's either going to be Joelle hula hoops or it'll be Chi bounce juggling. The thing you have to keep an eye out is they're going to enter from the stage left doorway. Everyone's entering from the stage left doorway, and they're a little hard to see. So I always try to help the sound, the light tech. We're going to keep an eye out for 495 coming in. And this is your go. It's with the music almost. You'll see him in the back. We're gonna hold here until we start hearing the rapping after the dance number. And go. The next lighting cues, we try to time with the music on the snare beat. So there's a little finesse that happens. If it's off, it's okay, but ideally we nail it. So there'll be a dance break and we'll try to hit it on the down. The next light cue will also cause the lights to kind of pulse. So it doesn't happen when he's actively juggling. Stage right is having a dance party. That's so cute. What is happening over there? Stand by. And go. Lights, pulse, lights, pulse, lights. See it?
Yep.
The end of the dance number. And go. And it cuts the pulse. Little lag finally caught up with itself.
We've had a couple of moments in this video of that, and it's
yeah.
We'll just take it what you're saying, not where the video is.
Oh, look at it go! Oh, it's so funny. Okay, the next light cue is going to be the button at the end. That's funny. This video is slow. I wonder why. Interesting. So the button. Dun, 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 go. Hopefully it catches up with itself.
All right, y'all. I found one more category of questions. It is trivia time again.
Oh my God, the mic stand. Look at the mic stand. Comedy gold. All right, take that next light cue. Go. 5:30. Zooms in on her. Next cue comes fast after Lawrence Ferlinghetti. It goes with the music. That'll be 5:32 is coming up.
Come down. Come down from your Russian hills, your telegraph
Oh,
hills.
mic stand was so funny.
hills and your chapel hills. The trees are still falling.
And we will to the woods no more. We come down to sitting them.
As man burns down his own house.
Stand by 5:32.
His pig. Lawrence Ferlinghetti.
Go. See that big bright light on stage.
I saw the best minds of my generation destroyed by madness, starving, hysterical.
Yeah, I've got a little lag on this video.
Burning for the ancient heavenly connection to the starry dynamo in the machinery of the night. Allen Ginsberg.
I won't promise you'll never go hungry or that you won't be.
So we're gonna do the whole free hoop section before there's another light change. And right now, current lights are just as wide and big.
Courage is an interesting virtue. Like the tobacco in a cigarette, the only way to draw it out from the depths of your character is to embrace it.
Wow, it's kind of weird laggy, but it works.
Jack Kerouac.
The dark night gave me black eyes. Yes, I used them to find the light. Good charm.
Believe in the swinging sound of jazz, tearing the night into intricate shreds, putting it back together.
Coming up on our next light change, it's the end of this poem by Dom.
The poems flow. When creeks are down, we heap stones. Gary Snyder.
Go. All right, now we have until Long Live Poetry. Do you want to fast forward?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's nothing specific to look for until that point.
Jumping weird, so I'm gonna keep forward.
Yeah.
All right, so just for sake of understanding what's happening, we're skipping 2 hoop, 3 hoop section. We're gonna get up to where the 4 hoop section is getting ready to start. And his amazing Spanish. Stand by for 536.
Long live poetry!
And go. 536. Performer's going to walk up stage. This illuminates the corridor. So what's happening with 536, 537, and 540 is there's a light that illuminates the back aisleway where the artist is going to run down and jump through the hoop. So when they are starting to run, that's when 537 happens, and you'll see the light swing. If the artist knocks the hoop down, they have to backtrack on this cue. So stand by 537. All the anticipation. I hope this is one where he fakes a drop so I can demonstrate what I'm talking about. 537's go, it swings forward. Okay, so then we go 540s when the cast is at the center X, center crosses center, and go. I'm gonna pause for a second, real quick, just to explain what happens next, or what happened there. Okay, so if the artist knocks the hoop down and needs to go back up stage, then the lighting technician will go back to cue 536, which is 2 back. And then when the artist runs again, 537 happens again. And they'll do that each time. And the lighting technicians know how to just scroll back and go to it. And what that does is it's just one light that swings above that upstage aisle where the artist is going to run down. So they'll do that as many times as they need to. And then at the end, when the cast with the center and the artists are in that circle with the music sting, that's 540. What happens next is actually a MIDI trigger. Technicians for light and sound were having a hard time, honestly, hearing when the track started to make the lights go because the applause was so big. So we made it a MIDI, and so the sirens starting, or also called city sounds, is actually a cue that's put by the sound technician. On the regular sheet by Dave, it should be listed in red. I'm going to do that right now real quick so that makes sense. Okay, so now we're going to be going off onto Existential Crisis, which is the phone calls. This video is probably going to cut out in a second, so we may have to jump. But the big thing is you're going to be really needing to help the lighting technician jump from person to person because they actually can't fully see each position. They have like a baby cam, honestly, that helps show the position that chi or song is in to know when to illuminate it and when to turn off that light. So we're going to go ahead. We're probably going to change the footage or the video real quickly, but we'll get the idea. So siren starting is 560. It's a MIDI cue. Then with the music is going to be 550 or 650. And we can't see it on this go. You spelt it change. Are you still there? Is the pause go? So this video is going to cut out, so I'm gonna stop it and close it and open the next one. Coming up on the line.
But do they love me? Oh my God. Does anyone love me? Wait, are you still there?
Go.
Hey, Mom. Can I borrow another 1,000?
Stuck behind a delivery truck. Breath, go. Will be the cue.
It's not my fault I was late. My Waymo got stuck behind a delivery truck.
Go. We're waiting for the representative and then the audience laughter just crests. Go.
Well, I stopped drinking milk because I became.
You can kind of see the light over here.
So then I switched to lactose-free milk. But there's still the industrialization of cows that's affecting global warming and those poor cows. So I tried almond milk.
Best script of the show.
Water to grow and with the drought. Wait, is there still a drought?
When we made this up
Anyway, so
years ago, I was so excited.
estrogen levels that
I was pushing for it.
which can be linked to cancer. And hemp milk is totally a gateway thing. There's oat milk, but I'm trying to cut gluten out.
So next cue is pour on my frosted flakes. It's going to take the room to a blackout
Somewhere that rice milk could contain arsenic.
or close to a blackout. And then Fede has a MIDI cue that starts the film.
But I don't want to exploit Hawaiian land.
Stand by.
What on earth am I supposed to pour on my frosted flakes?
Go. Or pause, go. Yeah. Let her finish it fully. I crunched her a little too fast. Let her finish Frosted Flakes, and then people see her, and then it cuts out. So then the film starts.
And then this point, we're also, if we're doing teeterboard, we're also making sure that the our little bumper is on the stairs.
Perfect. Yeah, great note there. I'm also letting attention guest experiences. Standby teeterboard is next. Please help keep the aisles clear. For tech, you could say teeterboard is next, but they can see a freaking teeterboard on stage, so they probably know. So things to look out for this is curtain opens. Earthquake rumble is a MIDI cue, so we let sound take that. Opera music starts. That's when their main like lit up blue but dim enough so they can still see each other cue happens. So we're gonna watch for when the cast enters and it starts to turn sepia. Stand by for 7:29. The sound cues here are pretty close, like there's a lot happening all in this first little bit. And go 7:29. That lights up that corridor on the stage center on them. That's the MIDI cue. It's fun when they go slow, fast with the twitchiness of the video. Are you getting that too, Tanya?
I'm getting, yeah, I have some lag.
So the big thing for this act, lighting wise, is they really need their lights not to change. And so it's important, like there's not a lot of cues, and that most of their jumping is done in the same look. So if you sense something's off, mention it right away to the lighting technician, because it's gonna really clip their wings. They can't do anything safely if their lights are not right. So what we're waiting for is the opera music to start. This next cue is the same for hand-to-hand or for teeterboard. When the opera music starts, it causes like the blue lights to come up and the mood setting lights to come up. You hear the music start to come in. Stand by for opera. And I think they're already starting to go here. Let's see, are they? Yeah, go. See the blue lights upstage coming on? And things are just less bright. It's kind of got a fade into it, so you really see it now. I think it's like an 8 or 10 second fade in, 15-second fade in. Okay, so the crash is now also a MIDI cue. What we call the crash is, in this case, called Ninja, where Leo catches Nathan and Leo goes into the house right audience by the stage manager booth. You're gonna hold here. You know it's coming up because the music starts to get to its crescendo. That's the crash. That is the MIDI cue. Now the cast are going to run into the house. So we're going to take 7:38 go. That lights up the aisles. Then they're going to return back to stage. Maybe 7:42. I think there might be a typo here. There's another cue. The next lighting cue is when the artist jumped down from the stage. That's the go. And then I think we hold here. Yeah. So in hand to hand, there's an extra cue in there for when the spotters leave, Michael and Joel prepping. In teeterboard, it's when they jump down. Here, this is sound cue. Lights stay. The next lighting cue is going to be when the artists are done. They've fully landed their final tricks and have splatted on the ground. Wow, fast forward. That was fun. The lag is bad now, sorry. Stand by for the splat, 7:50. Yeah, felt that light change, splat on the ground. Now we've got a MIDI cue that happens right now as Colleen comes in. And 7:69 is going to be after they've cleared the teeterboard. And Colleen ends up center on stage, taking off her dress. So this is this moody moment. All right, stand by 7:69, going into umbrellas, or rain is the other name for this act. And that's the go. There it is, comes up on her nice and warm-ish. Cool, warm. Dramatic moment. The next cue is going to be when they lift her from center stage to downstage center. So she's going to write first and show everybody what she wrote. And this is the lift. Go with lights. Now, the next bit of this act is really going to be very similar for lights regarding if it's a rope act or if it's a hair hang act. And what we're doing again is lights go up when the artist is in the air and kind of stay there. So she's going to clip in. The lights are going to start coming up here. Go. And really, we're going to keep this lighting look until she comes down and heads to the shower. Until she unclips and heads to the shower. And there's our superhero Jennings over there. Recently, there was a case where Colleen started feeling some vertigo and dizziness, and we had to work out on the spot if she was going to make it through this act in total. And the agreement that happened with the communication via headset was if Colleen doesn't feel well, she's going to signal Jennings to come down, and then she would exit stage, and then we would just go straight into the final poem. So, so at any moment that could happen, and it's really up to the artist and the rigger to communicate if they're going to call it, and then from there we need the rigger to communicate with us that it's happened and that what we're going to do next. Haven't needed to use it, but it was great that we were able to talk it through as to what the plan was. All right, we're going to stand by for 784 now. And go. This lights up upstage so you can see the watering can. It takes the focus off of downstage for the aerial. You see it on the floor there. Next cue is when she gets up off the ground, it turns on this footlight special that she's going to walk to, and it illuminates her, showing that her body is clean now of the writing. So she's going to splash, she's going to spin. Ideally, we take the go for the next cue when she stands up now and starts walking towards it, so she knows A, where to go, and B, the light is now brushing up her body. All right, and then next cue, 787.5, go. That takes the footlight special away. Now when she goes up again is going to be 788, so she's going to clip in and stand by. The next one is this warm light that happens at the end of the umbrellas act or rope act. So when she goes up, you're going to go take that cue now. And the way you can know that this is happening is the bars on the above the proscenium start to get peachy colored, which you haven't really seen much of in this act yet. Uplifting. Don't you feel uplifted?
Yeah.
Now the next light cue is lands for applause, 790. It turns on a light that's house left that she steps into, which is her applause light. So you take that go, and you'll see her step into it, and this light is her bow light. We have this monologue happen. Heatherina's rocking it.
You give us the courage to love. You accept us unconditionally. It's no wonder we all leave our hearts here. Even when we're
So when the monologue ends and the drum starts, that's going to be the next go, and it's going to brighten up the stage and show off the rest of the cast. Oh, that was a sweet moment with Maya and Heatherina. That was cute. And go 832 at the hug. See how now everything starts to get nice and warm? The other thing this cues is a video cue, and you're going to see poppies start blooming and going up the proscenium. So 832.5 is guest experiences. So we get through all the bow, or most of the bows. Ideally, we anticipate this because sometimes they walk out in the dark and the light's late and it feels weird. We were going to try to have flowers come up from the stage in some weird tech. Instead, we made it a video on the back wall that the California poppy would rise, and we're rising up from the ashes. Having a fake flower come up from the stage felt really not quite right.
Mm.
Those were early conversations.
I think we're
All right,
getting
we're getting ready for guest experiences. They're queued up. Go for lights. See how they're like kind of in the dark? Okay, yay, now they're in the light. Yay. And then that stays up, that light. Cute. Stand by for 8:35 for the sing-along. Here we go. And go. All right, so one thing to know is if it is an ASL show, Heatherina stands up on the mezzanine house right above the stage manager's seat. I'm gonna turn the volume down a little bit because we get the idea. It is helpful to support the lighting technician on when that mezzanine light goes on and off to focus on Heatherina because they're doing that manually. So there is another run of show sheet where I kind of say, okay, mezzanine light go, mezzanine light out, or you can say ASL light on, please. It doesn't have to be a whole big conversation. It's just a little nudge to remind our technician, hey, don't forget. Often happens at the beginning of letters. They forget and they need a little nudge because it is manual. All right, stand by for bow lights. And go. And that brings it up all nice and bright. Yay, magic happens. And da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
And sometimes we'll have a post-show speech, sometimes we won't.
Yeah, if there's a post-show speech during the bows, I do try to let front of house know, or technicians know, no speech. I'll need the green microphone to announce birthdays. Stand by David's speech, no birthdays. And I'll communicate with the sound technician as to when to turn the green mic on or off. So this is into show looks, 8:50. They do their parade. I'll communicate with the sound technician. Okay, stand by. We wait until this big applause really happens and the parade happens. And then I'll walk stage right, get the microphone and say, okay, sound technician, please go for green mic. And I'll say, Joey and Tanya, please report to this. Please join us at the stage. See, perfect. Joey did that. I do not necessarily say, please join us for your birthday photo because anybody who has a birthday tries to come up to the stage. So I just say the names of the people and I call them up so that we don't get everybody else wanting photos as well.
Yeah, and the one quick note from Jennings on this is just to make sure that he gets a chance to dry the stage before we bring them on.
Absolutely.
And usually that's a good timing for the acrobats to get back on stage as well.
Yes, I love that. So oftentimes I'll have the people meet me at the stage stairs and then I'll explain to them, okay, great, well, hang tight. We just need to finish drying the stage. And meanwhile, the cast are all walking in and out and I'm putting on my fingers 1 photo, 3 photos, 0 photos. So as they walk by me, it doesn't have to be a big conversation. Oh my God, the lady's already on the pole. What the F? Our job as stage manager, get that person. Look, Joey, perfection. You see this?
Mm-hmm.
Joey, if you're ever watching this video, great job there. Gently telling them to get off the pole. I always like to joke that they have to sign a waiver and do 4 years of circus college before they're allowed to get near it. That usually stops them in their tracks. Or they're already like, ow, that hurt. So, okay, I'm going to stop video here. That lady is very excited about her birthday.
All right. Perfect.